Well, all right. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Hot Seat Automotive Podcast. It's your buddy CJ here. And tonight, we're talking about all things automotive industry, the automotive enthusiast hobby, cars, all the things that real gearheads are interested in talking about. Real Gearhead Talk. This is the place to be for that Real Gearhead Talk. Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to all my subscribers. I love each and every one of you, and I'm so grateful for you. Let me tell you something. If you're not a subscriber, give me a like and subscribe. Come on, get involved with the channel. If you're into cars, if you're into trucks, SUVs, what's going on in the automotive industry, cool automotive events, listen, this is where we get into it. We talk about all the things that car guys and car girls love talking about. Guys, I'm so happy about all the excitement going on, the buzz around the channel. It's growing. Get at me, Hot Seat Gearheads on Instagram. We're just having so much fun. Tonight, we got a special episode. Let me tell you something. Tonight is the night where we got the Performance SUV Showdown. We're going to settle this tonight. We're going to talk about 4 performance SUVs. We're going to compare them a bit head to head. I'm going to tell you what your buddy CJ thinks, which one I think is the sweet spot, the one you should snag. But I want to hear from you. Leave me those comments. Let me know if you agree with the way I kind of stack rank them. Let me know if there's another one you'd pick, either on my list or outside of my list. I'd love to hear from you. Guys, we as automotive enthusiasts and car guys, sometimes we kind of, we'll focus on the performance cars, the sports cars, the classics, the coupes, the roadsters, the muscle cars, the supercars, whatever it might be. But, the backbone of America and the globe right now is probably not you and I. We are not your average car buyer as a gearhead, as a petrol head. As a muscle car fan, as a performance car enthusiast, whatever it might be. Yeah, we are the exception, not the norm. Your buddy CJ said we are not normal, but that's why we get along so well. Come on. I love you. Guys, we have so much fun here, but let's get right back to it. Listen, people starting families, people with families, people who want utility over aesthetics, utility and function over performance. There's a whole lot of folks. There's a massive population across the globe of car buyers and drivers who could care less about brand, who could care less about performance, who could care less about heritage and aesthetics and motorsports. For those people, the SUV has become the thing. Decades ago, it was the station wagon. Then we had the advent of the minivan. And for a while there, the minivan was still going strong, but the SUV, the sports utility vehicle, really took over. I think, if you, any town USA or probably anywhere in the globe, leave me comments. Anywhere you go, you see this army of SUVs, a convoy of SUVs on the road every day. But what I'll say is, for the automotive enthusiast, for the motorsports enthusiast who needs the utility and the function of an SUV, be it the additional storage space, the seating for 5, 6, 7, 8 passengers, all that functionality, utility, you need to fit the baby gear in it, or maybe you're in an industry, you run your own business, you need the storage capacity, all those things. You need the all-wheel drive, you live in an area of weather, but you also want to couple that with some performance characteristics, some cool styling. The good news is, there are options in the market. And tonight, we're going to be talking about 4 American vehicles, all American, coming out of Detroit. Come on. We'll do another episode on more, dare I say, more the Euro SUVs or some of the Japanese stuff, etc. But tonight is all about what's coming out of Detroit as a performance SUV. So if you're a young couple, you got to get yourself an SUV, but you want something a little more cool than your average generic soccer mom rig. Okay, there, I said it. You want something cool appearance-wise, performance-wise, steering, handling, all that stuff. We're going to talk about 4 really cool options, and we're going to get into it right now. I'm going to give you my rank. I want to hear from you, and I might give you a couple surprises, too. That's just fair warning. You've been warned. Let's get into it. Guys, you guys know on this channel, we look at these things together. And we have a heck of a time doing it. All right, Look at this thing. Are you kidding me? Ford Explorer ST. This is Ford's performance variant of the Explorer. For decades, the Ford Explorer was the highest selling SUV in the world, I believe, at least in North America. Solid platform. Listen, Ford, like other manufacturers, has had its issues and challenges over the years, but the Explorer platform, the Explorer as an SUV, has certainly evolved with the times. A couple things about the Ford Explorer ST. We're talking about a 400 horsepower twin turbo V6, 3.0 liter. Got a 10-speed automatic transmission. Your top speed is somewhere around 146 miles per hour. 0 to 60, somewhere around 5.5 seconds, okay? You got a curb weight of about 4,700 pounds, okay? The vehicle is about 198 inches long, okay? About 5,600 pounds towing capacity in a Ford Explorer ST. Your price point new, somewhere around 52,000 is your entry point. So you figure 52,000 to 62, 65K, you're probably going to max out. Couple of things. Number one, I claim, and maybe I'm giving you sort of a precursor. Maybe I'm leading you in on what kind of my top picks here are. But I got to say, I think the Ford Explorer gives you a lot of multiple worlds. What do I mean? You got 3 rows of seating, okay? So you've got the utility and the functionality. The vehicle is full size, but it's not oversized. I think the size of the Explorer, having driven and owned these vehicles, it's right in the zone. It's a bigger vehicle than, like your average Camry or something like that. But you don't feel like, oh gosh, where am I going to park this thing? You're always comfortable in and out of malls, parking lots with this vehicle. The performance is a nice bump. If you think about like the 300, I think the base engine in the Explorer is putting out about 300 horsepower. This thing steps up 100 horsepower, okay? The suspension, it sits a bit lower. It's got some nice styling cues. It's got those wheels. It's got the brakes. Look at the calipers on this thing. The badging, the grille. There's a lot of nice subtle design cues in the ST trim that absolutely give off that motorsports theme, that motorsports vibe. Make no mistake, when you see a Ford Explorer ST, perhaps the coolest thing about it is that it truly gives off that performance vibe. And I think, this is probably a really good mix and balance of a vehicle that you could take on a road trip. You could take to the grocery store. You could drop off the kids at school. Okay. But then you can have a bit of fun with it and take a bit of pride in it, knowing that it doesn't look like every other SUV on the road. And there aren't that many of these. Okay. And it's got those legit performance upgrades over the base Explorers and the other trim packages. It's not just a badge job, right? So Ford Explorer ST, I think, gives you a nice mix of everything. I also think aesthetically, the lines of this vehicle, the Explorer, it's a good looking SUV. Listen, it's not a Ferrari. It's not the Mona Lisa. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is Ford Explorer gives you a lot of, sort of right down the middle, the best of multiple worlds, I claim, if you need an SUV. The other thing I'll tell you, real talk, I did a bit of research because your buddy CJ loves you and he's always looking out for you. You can snag one of these, a couple 3 years old, okay? CPO, certified pre-owned, get one with lower mileage, right? That hasn't had the wheels driven off of it, 20, 30, 40,000 miles, totally acceptable for these, even something with a little more mileage. Lower mileage examples can be had in the 40s. So, 40K, 42K, 45K. That's a lot of vehicle. You're getting a full-size SUV loaded with options, plus the performance appearance, the motorsports vibe, the enhanced performance, all of that. I say get 1, 2, 3 years old. Listen to your buddy CJ. If you're in the market for one of these, I'll tell you, this just might be the one to snag. Ford Explorer ST, 2021 through 2024. Check it out. Guys, let's keep going. Who's having more fun than us tonight? Let me tell you something. What is tonight? Is tonight Wednesday? Here we are, having all this fun, talking about performance SUVs. Nobody's better than us. And shout out to my boy, Matt. My boy Matt just got one of those Ford Explorer STs. He fitting to tear it up in that thing. Nah, that's my buddy Matt. You know who you are. Love you, buddy. And I think that vehicle is going to work out for you, and I'm glad you got it. Guys, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Whew. Whew. All right, real talk. I got to come clean with you. I got to come clean. Your buddy CJ's always straight and honest with you. Real talk, I cannot get on board with a Dodge Durango. Okay? There's something about the lines of this vehicle, the proportions. I don't know what it is. I've owned SUVs for a long time. I've always had an SUV as a daily. From the time when my kids were young, so on and so forth. Like an SUV has been in my driveway for a long, long time. Real talk. I have never considered buying a Dodge Durango. I wanted to like these vehicles through the generation. Honestly, I think I liked the first gen Dodge Durangos the best. Leave me comments. Let me know what you think. Those first gen Dodge Durangos, the RTs. Now, that was a sharp looking vehicle. I don't know. It was okay. I was never in love with it, but I could stomach that. This current generation Durango and the one before, yeah, not so much. You know, like, okay, look, maybe if I had a bag on my head, I'd drive one of these around. No, listen, I'm just kidding. Dodge guys, don't get mad at me. But let's talk about the specifics. We're going to compare the Dodge Durango RT Hemi for the sake of tonight's episode. I'm not touching the SRT Hellcat Demon whatever powered Durango. Why? I'll tell you why, guys. Let me just get this out of the way right now. That's like an $80,000, $90,000, $100,000 vehicle. It's priced out of the discussion. Yes, it's a big monster performance SUV. Okay, it's a Hellcat under the hood of your Dodge Durango. Make no mistake. And it's got its own merits. But it comes at such a premium in price. Look, I'll be honest with you. If I'm in the market for an $80,000, $90,000, or $100,000 SUV, I don't know about you, but I'm not buying a Dodge Durango. Look, I get it. You're probably buying it for the Hellcat badge. I get that for the SRT thing. But I claim that's not the one to buy, okay? If you're talking about the criteria I mentioned at the top of the episode, the family or the person who needs an SUV for practicality and functionality purposes, they're not looking to break the bank, okay? They don't need the top wild performance animal that would be a Dodge Durango, Hellcat, SRT, Demon, whatever the hell they call it these days, okay? And they're not looking to spend $80,000, $90,000, $100,000, okay? They're not looking for a collector's item or a special SUV that's ready for the drag strip as a beast, okay? They're just not looking for that. They're looking for something they can daily, they can road trip, they can take to the beach, take to the mountains, take to grandma's house, go to the soccer game in the grocery store, all weather. I claim the Dodge Durango RT with the Hemi is the one that we should be talking about tonight, so we are. 360 horsepower, 5.7 liter V8, 8-speed automatic. The Dodge Durango RT does have an advantage on towing. It's like a 7,400-pound towing capacity when we compare with the Ford Explorer ST. So listen, if you got a tow, the Durango might be your rig. If you can live with the aesthetics, leave me comments. Let me know if your buddy CJ is off and this thing is not ugly. But yo, Dodge Durango is ugly. I'm sorry. I just can't get on board with it. I can't get on board with it. I got to be honest. But anyway, let's keep going. Got about a 200-inch length, so it's a itty-bitty bit longer than the Ford Explorer ST. I don't know. When I look at these, they just look bigger and longer to me. That's just probably a perspective thing. 0 to 60 somewhere in around 6.5 seconds, as opposed to the 0 to 60 in like 5.5 seconds with the Explorer. Look, for a big vehicle like this, you're probably not going to track it anyway. Why would you? Makes no sense. Same thing with the Ford Explorer ST. This is a practical SUV category with some performance credentials and some motorsports vibe connected to it. But make no mistake, this is not a sports car. This is not a muscle car, right? Price point's going to be a bit higher than the Ford Explorer ST, but not by much. I claim, new, you're talking probably $57K to get into one of these, $55,000, $57K, all-wheel drive with the Hemi. That's about all I have to say about the Dodge Durango RT. I'm just not a big fan, guys. One of the things, shout out, let me know, leave me comments if you know about the Darth Vader mask in the back of the Dodge Durango. At night, certain generation of the Dodge Durango SUV with those taillights, to me, it looked like Darth Vader's mask. Am I the only one? Come on, be honest. Leave me comments. Let me know what you think. Your buddy CJ, not a fan of the Durango. I do think, though, if you want that Hemi, you know, if you're looking for a full-size SUV, it's right there in the zone with a lot of good specs. And if you're a Mopar person, you're a die-on-the-hill Dodge person, this might be your rig. Hey, if you got a Challenger for fun and you're looking to add another SUV for practicality, it got to be a Dodge. This might be your rig. Let me know what you guys think. Leave me your comments. Guys, let's keep going because we're having fun tonight as we do every night here on Hot Seat Automotive Podcast. Be sure to give me a like and subscribe. I'd love to hear from you. Leave me those comments. I'll respond to all the comments I can. Whoa, look at this guy. This is the 2021, we'll get to that in a minute, 2021 Grand Cherokee SRT by Jeep. Guys, this thing is a performance SUV with legit muscle rig power and performance specs. Check it out. 6.4 liter V8 putting out 475 horsepower. Okay, 0 to 60 sub 5 second. You're looking at 4.4, 4.5, 0 to 60, and like a 13.5 second quarter mile. So if we're talking about these performance SUVs with some practicality to them that you can actually daily, the Grand Cherokee SRT probably wins the performance battle head to head with the other rigs we're talking about tonight. Now, that's the good news, right? The bad news is they don't make it anymore. And just like the discussion we had with the Dodge Durango, I'm going to say this, get this out of the way before you guys even leave me the shade in the comments. We're not talking about the Trackhawk. We are not talking about the Trackhawk tonight. Trackhawk at $80,000, $90,000, $100,000. Of course, it's a huge performance step up from any of these trucks, from any of them. But at that price point, it's literally priced itself out for most of the folks who'd be in the market for an SUV right now. Real talk. For somebody who's starting a family or who needs the practicality for daily purposes, and they also want that motorsports vibe with some higher performance. Again, checking all those boxes, your Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT is the sweet spot. Now, when these were new, you're talking about like a $70,000, $80,000 Jeep. So you might say, CJ, what's this doing on your list? Well, I'll tell you what. They've depreciated. You can snag one of these for upper 30s, 40K, 45K, 50K. You can get a lot of Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT at a sweet spot in price because they've depreciated and you've got a legit performance beast. The other thing I'll say is I do think Jeep got the styling right on the Grand Cherokee SRT. This thing just looks sinister. This thing just looks cool. This thing deserves and belongs with that SRT badge. It's just super cool. You notice these when you see them. If you're an automotive enthusiast, if you're a truck guy or a car guy, when you see a Grand Cherokee SRT, you stop and take note, okay? And they've got a nice snort to them. They kind of growl with that exhaust. Listen, just a cool rig all around. In terms of the curb weight, you're looking at about 5,291 pounds. It's got an 8-speed automatic, about a 7,200 pound towing capacity, kind of on par with the Durango. So those are three. We've got the Ford, we got the Dodge, we got the Jeep. But I'm not done yet. We ain't never done on this channel. We keep going. Come on, guys. Are you kidding me? Let's keep having fun. Now listen, I do think the Ford Explorer ST, the Dodge Durango RT, the 2021, last year, Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT are three fantastic options, depending on what you find aesthetically pleasing, depending on how much performance you want, depending on what your budget is. These are three rigs that you can daily, but also provide a lot of functionality and usefulness and practicality And they're also fun to drive. They also have legit performance cred, some more than others. You know, if I had to stack rank them from a performance standpoint, I kind of just said it to you. That 2021 Grand Cherokee SRT is at the top of the mark from a performance standpoint. Durango's at the bottom. The Ford Explorer, though, is right there, okay? And I claim overall the Ford Explorer ST is the one your buddy CJ would snag. You know, Dodge Durango RT would be off the table for me because I can't get on board with the appearance. Forget about the way it drives. I can't get on board with the appearance of a Dodge Durango in any trim. I don't care. You could throw 2 Hellcat engines in that thing. You could put 2 Hemis in that thing with 2 superchargers. I don't care. I don't want a Durango. You know, not for me. I'd go with the Ford Explorer ST. I think it's the right mix. The styling, the aesthetics, loaded up with options, solid performance over a base Explorer. That might be the one to snag. Check it out. They've depreciated to a spot, as I mentioned, right there, upper 30s, mid 40s. You can get one a couple, 3 years old. You're getting a lot of vehicle with a lot of upside, okay, at that price point. Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT. Listen, your buddy CJ's, since they came out, I thought they were cool. But guys, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Because what have we not talked about? Bowtie boys. All right, Bowtie boys, I never leave you out. Chevy. We're going to talk about the Chevy Tahoe RST. First things first, this thing's too big. This thing's way too big to be on my list tonight. If we think about a Ford Explorer ST, a Dodge Durango RT, a Grand Cherokee SRT, the Tahoe is just next level in terms of size. If you've ever driven, and I have driven all of these vehicles, the Tahoe will never let you forget how large it is. Let's talk a bit about the Tahoe RST package and why I bring it up. Some of you may not know about it. Leave me comments. The RST package I claim is kind of a sleeper. A lot of folks I talk to when we're talking about SUVs, performance SUVs, they don't even know about this thing. What the Tahoe RST is, guys, is as close as you can get to a law enforcement spec Tahoe as a civilian. So it's got a different suspension on it. It's got that 6.2 liter V8 putting out 433 horsepower. So it is a horsepower bump over the base Tahoe. It's not a huge bump. It's like 15, 20 extra horsepower. The exhaust is louder. Okay, it's got a sport exhaust. 0 to 60 in about 5.9 seconds, which is plenty. In a vehicle this big, it ain't even about that. Listen, it's going to take off. It's going to be fun getting on throughway, on ramps, and all that type of thing. It's plenty of power. As I mentioned, it's got more of those suspension and handling characteristics of like a law enforcement Tahoe. Okay, this thing's heavy. It's got a 5,788 pound curb weight. It does have a 10-speed automatic, which is helping with some of that performance. Now, the bad news, you're looking at like a $67,000 to $81,000 price tag. And again, I know this thing's big. It's larger than the other vehicles, okay? It really is more of a heavyweight SUV, I'd say, more of a full size. This thing, as opposed to the other vehicles that we talked about tonight, whether it's the Ford Explorer ST, the Dodge Durango RT, the Grand Cherokee SRT, drive all 3 of those and then drive the Tahoe. This thing will remind you that it's a bigger vehicle. You will feel it parking it in the mall, in traffic, tight corners, that type of thing. It's a big, boxy beast, okay? But if you need that extra sized, full-size SUV, and you want that performance vibe, motorsports aesthetics, something a bit cooler, meaner, something with a bit more of a growl to it than everybody else's Tahoe, you might want to consider the Chevy Tahoe RST. It's going to cost you, though. Guys, I'm not done yet. Let's keep going, because let me tell you, Chevy's got that big old Tahoe, but you might say, CJ, that doesn't really fit. And I would agree with you. Check this out. It's coming. Guys, Chevy Corvette SUV is coming. I don't know when. There's some speculation. There's been some press releases. There's talk about it. Listen, this is a rendering, but no discussion about modern performance SUVs coming out of Detroit would be complete if we didn't say what's to come from the Bowtie Boys. Chevrolet is going to bring us that Corvette SUV. I'll tell you, Corvette has a following. It's a brand. It's got performance heritage, okay? I do see this doing quite well, and I'm saying that before seeing it. I think it's going to follow in the footsteps of, what we've seen with Porsche with the Cayenne, okay? Or what we've seen with Lamborghini with the Urus. Leveraging a very strong performance brand, picking up the design cues, the coolness, okay, and some of the performance, and putting that into a more practical SUV. Now, you might say, well, CJ, what about the Ford Mustang Mach-E? Listen, Ford got a few things wrong with the Mach-E, I claim. I think they did some things right, but listen, it's an all EV. I think there would have been better adoption if they offered a hybrid variant in addition to the full EV variant, okay? Also, I think they could have come up with more of an aggressive badge, a more aggressive trim for that Ford Mach-E, and they probably would have endeared themselves more to Mustang fans. Like, put something on that car that really screams Mustang performance, as opposed to just the galloping horse. I think it was a bit of a misstep. Ford missed out on a couple of opportunities. I would not buy one. Okay, if I was in the market for an EV SUV, it would not be a Mach-E. I think there's a goofy element to the Mach-E. I'm hoping Chevrolet gets it right and doesn't go the goofy route. I don't think they will. I hope we're going to get something that's available, both internal combustion engine and hybrid. Look, if they do electric, that's great too. But I think, Chevy, if you're out there, you're listening to your buddy CJ, make sure you offer at least a hybrid, if not an internal combustion engine. Really get your Corvette fan base bought in on this thing when it comes to market. So enough about that, guys. Tonight, we really wanted to talk about really three main performance SUV options. The fourth one was the Chevy Tahoe RST. So it's really four, but let's call it 3.5. Because really the Ford Explorer ST, the Dodge Durango RT, the Grand Cherokee SRT, I claim those are three that are similarly sized at this point in the market, similarly priced, with all of which with performance merit. That Grand Cherokee SRT having the highest performance, followed by that Ford Explorer ST. I think the Ford Explorer ST is the sweet spot. Appearance, performance, uniqueness, scarcity. Okay, it's got a lot of upside, and you can snag them at the right price right now. It's a smart buy. Your buddy CJ's telling you that's probably the one to buy right now. Stay away from the Dodge Durango. No, come on. I'm having a little bit of fun, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Your buddy CJ loves you, care about you, love talking about this stuff together, and I love hearing from you. Leave me those comments. I respond to all the comments I can. Performance SUV. You guys tell me what your choice is based on these four SUVs I presented tonight. Or if there's something else, it's got to be out of Detroit. It's got to be an American SUV. Leave me comments. Let me know what you think. Guys, I'm looking forward to talking to you on the next one. Till then, take care of yourself and peace.